Good morning and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Rogue Valley in Medford, Oregon. I'm Kimberly Hawkins, Spiritual Director here. We are honored you decided to join us for our Sunday celebration. We are a diverse, progressive, inclusive spiritual community dedicated to teaching spiritual tools both to transform personal lives and help make a world that works for everybody. With us this morning doing our invocation and reading is practitioners Laura Stewart. Our Facebook manager, chat manager this morning is Kayla Tice. And our musicians this morning are Alexa Ehrlich and Lauren James, who now have for us our opening song.
Do what you love what you do, love all you can. I'm waiting for you to do what you love, there's no other way. And don't be afraid, just take every day and do what you love. Life is such a big surprise, you never know what lies right up ahead. So make your plans, but don't forget to do what you love and love what you do. Love all you can. I'm waiting for you to do what you love. There's no other way. And don't be afraid. Just take every day and do what you love. I got so many bills to pay and debt to weigh me down for the rest of my life. Well, why not pay them doing the things I love? And if you don't know what you love to do, well, then just picture you as a kid. Then you'll know. So don't wait for the lights to change or something strange to happen to us all. This is the time to take control. Do what you love what you do, love all you can. I'm waiting for you. Do what you love, there's no other way. Don't be afraid, just take every day and do what you love what you do. Do what you love, it's all up to you. To do what you love, there's no other way. And don't be afraid, just take every day and do what you love. Do what you love. Do what you love.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day. My name's Laura Stewart, and I am your practitioner for the day. I'd like to open with a prayer. So, simply quieting our mind and opening our hearts, I invite you to move into that space within, that space of pure, infinite spirit, pure life, pure love, the thing itself, showing up in, through, and as each and every one of us. I know that our time together today is blessed and holy, that we truly stand on sacred ground, and that each and every moment is a blessed, loving gift from the infinite to each and every one of us. And what I also know is that what we do with that gift is our gift to the divine. How we show up in the world today, in this moment, is truly miraculous. For we are the place where God shows up to experience life uniquely and beautifully. And God's having an absolutely magnificent time showing up as you and as me. So I'm simply grateful for this time that we have together, knowing that it is blessed, that it is perfect, that everyone who hears our words hears exactly what they need to hear, experiences exactly the love and the comfort, the strength and the courage that they need in this moment. So I simply turn this over to God, saying, you've got it. I release this into the spirit of love, the action of the law, knowing it is perfect, it is done. Amen, Ashe. And together we anchor this by declaring, and so it is. I've taken a reading that's been modified by Dennis Merritt Jones on Mother's Day. God couldn't be everywhere, so he created mothers, a Jewish proverb. While we know that in truth the Infinite One is indeed everywhere because it is omnipresence, I have always appreciated the folk wisdom and metaphor as quoted above because it depicts the ineffable character of the divine feminine, which is omnipresent, nurturing, and sustaining all living things, excluding none. Dr. Ernest Holmes refers to the feminine principle as the universal womb of nature, because as an omnipresent principle operating through all living things, it knows how to unconditionally nurture and grow to fruition whatever falls into its embrace. For this reason, another term for the divine feminine could be unconditional love. In other words, infinite presence, as the divine feminine is unconditional love. Yes, first and foremost, Mother's Day can be an opportunity to celebrate our earthly mothers, thanking and honoring them for the amazing job they did in bringing us into the physical world, using the very principle of the divine feminine to birth us, unconditionally love and nurture us for so many years, and then selflessly launch us into the world on our own spiritual journey into the human experience. Perhaps equally as important, Mother's Day can be a chance for each and every one of us to consciously reconnect with the principle of the divine feminine within ourselves, which is where the true power of unconditional love resides, waiting to embrace and nurture us. Today, I invite you to celebrate that divine feminine presence this Mother's Day and notice how truly loved you are. Thank you.
Love is my decision, up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Everyone sing along. Love is my decision. Up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision, up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Last time. Love is my decision, right here and now. My decision, right here and now.
How beautiful Alexa and Lauren love that song by Daniel Nahmad, Love is My Decision. Our theme for this month, the month of May, is Holy, Holy Uprising. Holy, spelled W-H-O-L-L-Y, meaning completely, holy, completely, awesomely. Holy, H-O-L-Y, meaning sacred, so completely, totally sacred uprising. An uprising, of course, can have two meanings. We tend to think of it as a revolt, a turning over of the old and entering something new, a new paradigm. But uprising can also mean a rising up, a being lifted up. And I think both meanings are applicable when we're talking this month about a holy, holy uprising. Our book of the month is called See No Stranger by Valerie Kaur, K-A-U-R. And this book has deeply been moving me this month. I planned to talk about it, but I've shifted gears. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But just a word about her book. The subtitle is A Memoir and Manifesto of Revolutionary Love. Valerie Kaur is an activist, a civil rights activist, a lawyer, a documentary filmmaker, and a spiritual leader. So I'm going to be using some of the things she talked about, but as I mentioned, I've shifted gears. I had prepared a talk based on our reading of this book, and my experiences of the last 24 hours have called me to prepare a completely different message. Or maybe it's not prepared, but it's going to come out one way or the other. Let me just say first, this idea of love, revolutionary love, because that is the title of my talk this morning, and that hasn't changed. Revolutionary love. Love really indicates and reminds us of the concept that we teach in Science of Mind, the core concept of oneness. Everything is God. God is all there is, and that includes us, and therefore we are one with each other, even when we don't see someone else. Valerie Kaur's book, See No Stranger. There's something in the book where she says, you're a part of me that I have not yet met, that I have not yet gotten to know. So this idea of love being a decision, but also being the natural way for us to be in the world if we're true to our real nature. So, a little background before I tell you about the last 24 hours. Many of you know, and some may not, our beloved practitioner and husband of Reverend Dr. Linda Rapond, Walter Carlisle, went into hospice this week. It was a decision that the family made together. It was Walter's decision also. They were asking if they wanted, the doctors were asking to do extraordinary means to extend his life, and Walter was saying, no, that's not me. I want to be home. I don't want to be in a care facility where I might not be even to have visitors at this point because of COVID. And I want to have a quality life no matter how much time I have left on earth. And I remember the doctor saying to him, well, you could die of pneumonia if you don't do what we're asking you to do. And Walter's response was, everybody's going to die of something, which is a very Walter thing to say. So the family prepared. A hospital bed was brought into the living room where he would be the center of family life and could see the kitchen when Linda was working in the kitchen. And preparations were made to just keep him comfortable and to keep him a part of everything that was going on. And none of us expected the end to come very soon, but I got a text from Linda, Reverend Dr. Linda, yesterday around 3:30, and it was odd because when a text comes up on your phone, sometimes I have an iPhone, so you get a preview but you don't see the whole thing. And the only thing I saw, I knew it was from Linda, and I saw the words, he's actively in his dying process. And so I became a little frantic trying to find the rest of the message, and I couldn't find it. It wasn't in my text, it wasn't in the email, it wasn't in Messenger on Facebook, and it was actually had been sent to a message system we have for our business, for our center. So the rest of the text from Linda said, he's beginning to move in and out of this plane. It's quite a sanctuary over here with Reverend Elisha Christopher, and Megan, Linda and Walter's daughter, singing to him. And she said, come by if you want. So I texted back immediately, I'm on the way. And I cried myself there. I think it was a shock, as it was for many of us, to learn that Walter may not have many hours or days left on this plane. But when I got to the house, I walked in, and Megan, their daughter, was sitting by his side, and Reverend Elisha Christopher, who's a good friend, was there as well. And they were singing to Walter. And there was a small group of friends. Megan and her husband Vector had planned to visit this weekend because it was Mother's Day. And so they had a lot of friends that wanted to visit them who had gathered, and it didn't turn in to be the kind of visit that they were expecting, but the friends became part of this wonderful creating of sacred space around Walter. So there was a lot of singing, sacred songs, songs about oneness and we are together, and we sang Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, coming forth to carry me home, a band of angels coming after me, coming forth to carry me home. So I immediately relaxed as I walked into this sanctuary, as Linda described it. It was peaceful. There were all kinds of flowers. If you know Linda Rapond, she's a gardener, and her backyard is full of all kinds of flowers and lilac trees. And a couple people were gathering blooms and creating flower arrangements and setting them all around the room. Reverend Elisha had lit candles. Two of the young people who were friends of Megan's decided their sacred service would be to do a deep cleaning. So they were in the kitchen, quietly, silently, rubbing down all of the white cabinets and making them glow, and clearing the countertops and making them beautiful, and cleaning the bathroom. It was very, very amazing. So I'd like to share with you 3 lessons that I've taken away from this experience of my visit there yesterday. 3 things I want to talk about. Finding the sacred, which is really not really finding, but it's recognizing that the sacred is always present, that every moment is a holy one if we can become aware of the presence around us, through us, in us always. Secondly, I want to talk about living our oneness. In Science of Mind, we talk a lot intellectually about we're one, But this experience yesterday taught me that we can truly live in that spirit of oneness. We can not just practice it, because practice kind of implies that we're trying, but this was really an experience of living in that knowing that we're one. And the third thing I want to talk about is mother's love. Mother's love. And as Laura indicated in that beautiful reading earlier, mother's love is something we can all live and embody. It's not something that's meant just for females. It's divine feminine, which lives in us all. It's not meant for just people who are biological moms. It can be practiced and lived and embodied by each and every one of us, no matter our gender, our age, and so on. So again, finding the sacred, living our oneness, and mother's love. By the way, I have permission from Reverend Linda to share this, because I realize it's pretty personal stuff. But if you know Reverend Linda, it was interesting during one of the quiet moments yesterday, one of the young people asked her, just tell us when you want us to leave. You can kick us out at any time. And her response was, oh, no. This is our tribe. This is good. This is the way it should be, that we're all together in this circle around Walter, loving on him. So there were other things that went on in terms of recognizing the divine here and creating a sacred space. So I think part of it was recognizing that life and death are both sacred things. They're not one is good, one is bad, one is the beginning, one is the end. It's a continuum. We know this. We know that our souls live on forever, and that doesn't mean that there isn't grieving and sadness that comes up, and sometimes shock when we realize someone may be leaving us. But it's all sacred. And so what happened in that room with the flowers and the singing, a friend came with a karimba. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's an African instrument, and he played that. And at that point, we all just went into this meditation, really. It was so very, very lovely. So this idea that we can create sacred space, not only recognize every moment as precious, but to bring in those things that help us feel it. The smell of the flowers, the sound of the music. And we know that even when people are in and out of consciousness, as Walter is right now, that there's evidence that they can hear. So it was very important what we said and what we sang to him and what was verbalized during that process. Creating the sacred. So I've been reminded now to do this in my own home, to do it more often, to create that feeling, that reminder. If we look at flowers, if we look at an altar, if we hear sacred music, we're reminded that we're always in the presence of God. Mother's love. What was real interesting yesterday is it was Mother's Day, and so there was some celebration of Linda as the matriarch of that family. But it was the young people, it was the 30-something people that were really expressing a mother's love, a nurturing, caretaking love for the family. It was Megan's friends who were doing the deep cleaning, who were mopping Walter's brow, who were checking in on whether he needed medication for his pain or his fever, who were ministering to him, who were nursing him. And it was almost, I thought of it as a role reversal, only we were all mothering each other. You know, that beautiful, selfless love that is in service and that is unconditional and that is just pure love was in evidence everywhere. So I loved Laura's reminder in that beautiful reading by Reverend Dennis Merritt Jones that we can all practice divine love that is mother's love. At one point, we started to get hungry, and so a menu was brought out, and we each decided what to order for dinner, and one of the young people went out and got dinner and brought it back, and we ate a communal meal seated around Walter, just sharing. And there was this feeling of this is a tribe, this is one unit, this is one community. It was such a beautiful thing. So again, I think sometimes death happens in isolation, and there's no right or wrong here, but I think about this revolutionary love. Walter's decision not to go on extraordinary measures, and the families agreeing and supporting that decision was a revolutionary decision in terms of what the medical community wanted. The medical community is used to saving lives and wants to save lives. But you know what? As Walter said to that doctor, we're all going to make our transition at some point. And so we can have the choice to have this be a natural thing and a sacred thing. The peace in that room is hard to describe. All my tears went away when I walked in that space where we were so present to this moment and appreciating this moment. And yet I think it was a revolutionary thing to create that space, to eke out this time as sacred and precious. You know, on the way home, I was reminded, even though this was a vigil for a probable transition to come soon, the feeling of peace that I had reminded me of when my daughter Krista was born. I felt like time stood still. Those of you who are moms may remember that feeling. It was just like nothing else in the world mattered but this tiny infant who was now here where we could see her and hold her and love her. And I thought everything else just faded like blurry in the background. And that's the way it felt in this room, where we were honoring this life and supporting him and supporting one another and coming together in that sacred feeling. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So when we learned that Walter had chosen to go into hospice, many people in our community contacted me about how we might support him and the family, and someone asked, could we do a Zoom call, to express our love? And someone suggested maybe we do a drive-by parade, and that isn't possible because he's in bed now, and even the Zoom call isn't possible for him to be on it. But what I am planning, and we don't know when he might make his transition, we know that it's probably soon. Monday morning, we have a spiritual practice call every week on Zoom. And Reverend Elisha had the idea, while Walter can't join us actively, we know that people going in and out of this realm and the next can often hear. So what we're going to do on Monday morning at 9, and you're all invited to join us, especially if you know Walter and want to express something to him, I'll send out an email to our whole list, and if you receive our newsletter, you'll receive the Zoom link again. We'll do a prayer, we'll do a meditation, and then whatever people would like to say to Walter, we'll start recording. This was Reverend Elisha's idea. We will record a love message to Walter, and the family will play it for him. And I know that he'll receive that. And even if it should be too late for him to hear it on this physical plane, I know that on some level, that energy that's sent in his direction is received and felt, and possibly more than ever once someone crosses the veil, because they're in that field of oneness. There is no separation. So that's an invitation to you all. I came across a poem earlier this week, actually in Reverend Elisha's class that I'm taking. And this poem deeply moved me. And I'm going to close by reading it. It's a couple minutes long, and I'd like to use this as a meditation, if you will. So if you're able, Lauren, to just tickle those keys and a little bit of meditative music for us, I'm going to invite you to take a couple deep breaths right now with me, deep cleansing breaths in and out. One or two more. This is a poem for me that speaks to this idea of sacredness of all of life. Recognizing that holiness in every moment. It's called Chop Wood, Carry Water, and it's written by Maya Luna. So if you're comfortable, close your eyes and just take in these words as I read you the poem slowly. When you sweep the floors, gather your daily regrets in the dustpan. Release them into the afternoon sun, and let the seeds of sorrow plant new dreams. When you wash the dishes, scrub away the debris of mind. Let each bubble reveal the emptiness of your original face. When you cook food, let your heart pour into every simmer and stir. Let every spice and kernel and grain contain your holy devotion to this brief human life. When you eat, chew your own love. Swallow the arms of the mother. Let them wrap around your belly with infinite compassion. Let every bite be an act of worship. When you bathe, let your hands become healers. Strip the body of its tensions and confusions. Pour the water of suppleness back into your bones. Baptize yourself into holy presence. Let your skin drink the nectar of open delight. Let fingernails scratch open your tired old wounds until your wholeness is revealed beneath the static. When you walk, let each toe pressing into earth be a thank you note to the gift of ground. When you breathe, let each inhale be a love letter to God, and every exhale a blessing to the trees. You are living prayer and magic in motion. The Church of the Ordinary is the secret of secrets. The Church of the Ordinary is the secret of secrets, for it is in the tiny places that kindness lives, and this kindness is the doorway to God. Our kindness is the doorway to God. So I'm realizing that this message in my heart today is a continuation of what Reverend Laura spoke last week, which is prayer is a way of life. And before we go into our final prayer, I want to encourage me and all of us this week to remember to recognize the sacred, to see it, and to help co-create it in whatever images, sounds, colors, sacred objects remind us of the truth of our being as godlings. I'm reminding me and all of us to treasure each moment, because we're never sure how many we or our loved ones have. And to remember that both life and death and whatever happens after, it's all sacred. We sang to Walter this last night, swing low, sweet chariot. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming forth to carry me home. This is the truth of all of us. A band of angels surrounding us, watching over us, inviting us. If I get there before you, tell them I'm coming soon. We're all coming soon. So recognizing, creating, co-creating the sacred. Secondly, living in our oneness. Remembering that we can't really see any stranger, see no stranger. No, as Valerie Kaur reminds us, that even if we see a stranger, it's some part of ourselves that we don't know yet. And so the invitation is to live in wonder, to get to know someone that seems like a stranger. And finally, mother's love. Just like Megan's friends are scrubbing and cleaning and preparing food and lighting candles and singing and mopping Walter's sweet brow, this sacred feminine, unconditional love, loving kindness is something each one of us is here to express. And as that poet told us, Maya Luna, kindness is the doorway to God. Let's go into prayer. In this moment, I celebrate this now precious moment, this gift that is the present, that is this holiest of times we can possibly spend. No matter what it looks like or doesn't look like, feel like or doesn't feel like, it is a gift. That divine essence, presence, source of all is present in everything, in the flowers in Walter's room, in our hearts, in our Mother's Day cards and wishes, whether our mother is here or across the veil. It's in our fathers and our children and our uncles and aunts and grandparents. We are one. And in this circle of life, we can care for one another. Because that's what we're here to do, isn't it really? We're here to express God, the highest expression of who we are, and we're here to tend and nurse and nurture and administer and minister to each other. So no matter whether we're healthy or experiencing challenges, no matter whether those loved ones that are close to us have a long life ahead or a short one, we don't know. We do know that life is eternal, love is eternal, God is eternal, and we, as God expressions, are eternal. And so we live this week and always, I pray, in that recognition of our oneness, in that recognition that there are no strangers, in that recognition that each moment, each day, each activity, each relationship is sacred and holy and deserves to be respected, revealed, honored. Gratitude for all of it. There really is nothing more to say except thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for all that is, for all that is yet to be. Thank you for our mothers and that divine presence in each of us, for that kindness that opens the door to God. May we all express that kindness, be that kindness, embody that kindness. Not only in our own families, not only in this nation, not only for those who look like us, but with everyone across the globe. And so I know there's nothing more to do right now but to release this word into the heart of God, into that law that always, always hears and answers our prayers. It says, yes, my beloveds, it is done. Blessing us all. I let it be, I let God be God. And we say together, and so it is. We go back to Lauren and Alexa.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
Ain't that the truth? There is only love, and it heals and sets us free. Thank you, Alexa and Lauren. Thank you so much. One way we express our love is through the sacred giving, the practice, the spiritual practice of sacred giving. So I want to encourage you to say our giving affirmation with me now as it comes up on the screen. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world, and it returns to me multiplied abundantly. 2 simple ways to make a contribution to CSL Rogue Valley so that we might continue our teaching and ministry. You can go on our website, www.cslroguevalley.org, and hit the donate button. Or you can mail a check to CSL RV at P.O. Box 1458, Medford, Oregon 97501. Before we say goodbye, just a few announcements. A reminder that I'll be sending out an email to our email list. By the way, if in the future you want to be on our email list, you can sign up either on our website, send us an email, or through Facebook, look for email. But we will be having Monday morning on our regular 9 o'clock spiritual practice time, we will be recording our messages of love to Walter Carlisle. Those spiritual practice calls also happen Wednesday morning and Thursday evening. The Zoom connections are in our weekly newsletter. Please feel free to join us. We have a big thing coming up. Let's see. First of all, the next new home visioning, we are doing visioning for our new space, will be happening Tuesday evening, May 18th at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. Please feel free to join us for that. It's really, really been a lovely, lovely experience. And really good news. We're going to be having an in-person meeting in Bear Creek Park the first Sunday in June, June 6th. So look for more information about that. We encourage you to bring a chair. Bring your mask. We'll socially distance. Obviously, we won't need to wear masks if we're 6 feet apart, but we don't know who has decided, who has chosen to be vaccinated or not. So we're encouraging you to have masks if you have close-up encounters with your colleagues and friends and community members. It's going to be great to see each other again after this long, long time apart. Finally, prayer requests. You can always submit a prayer request on our website, and our team of practitioners and ministers will pray for the whole week for the highest and best good of what you are looking to manifest in your life. I think that's it. So we go now to Lauren and Alexa Ehrlich once again for the closing song.
I celebrate my abundance today. today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release all fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself.
Thank you. Thank you once again, Alexa and Lauren. So as we close, my friends, I want to share with you that I was given a gift by this experience with Walter and Linda and Megan and friends yesterday. I was given the gift of peace. While I cried myself to what I knew was going to be, in many ways, a sad occasion, I came home centered and peace-filled and filled with that love and that oneness. And so my blessing as we close this service is one of peace and love for Walter Carlisle, for his wife, beloved Reverend Dr. Linda Rapon, for their children Megan and Matt, who is now on the way, for all who care for them, and a blessing as well for each one of us to experience that peace of God that passeth all understanding, no matter what we're experiencing. A special blessing of peace for all those who have been affected through the death of a loved one by COVID, knowing that there is divine order, there is that peace always possible to connect with, to feel, to know. God is love, we are love, and God is all there is. Blessings, my friends. Until next time, namaste.